Hello everyone and welcome to a new term at Signum University. My name's Gabriel Schenk and I'm a faculty member at the Literature Department. I'm joined with Professor Pushkin, who is not yet a faculty member, but he's going to be helping me out today in this tour, this kind of orientation video for the Google Classroom, which is part of Signum University's digital campus. So the first thing I'm going to be showing you is how to sign on to the classroom. Let's start sharing my screen. If I go to Google Chrome, and all I have to do is make sure that I'm logged in as my Signum University profile, so my gabriel.schenk@signumu.org email address, and go to classroom.google.com. And then I get through to this page, which is a sort of library of all my different classes that I've been assigned to throughout my time at Signum University. Very quick thing to mention at this point, a really good tip is if you have a Google account already, if you use Google Chrome, you can click on your profile picture, the top right hand of the screen, and click on Manage People, and this is a way of keeping your personal Google account and your Signum Google account separate. So if I do Add Person, I can create a profile for Signum University, and I can say, I don't know, I want to be a panda, for example. There's an option down here, create a desktop shortcut for this profile, which is really useful. So if I click that and say add, this creates a whole new browser session, and then I can go to classroom.google.com and log in with my Signum University credentials. So let's do that now, just to show you how it's done. u.org, and then my password, and then save that, and then this will forevermore be the way I get into the Google Classroom. And if I want to go back to my personal Google account, I can do that through Manage People. But if you remember, it gave me an option to create a desktop shortcut. So that's what it's done. If I put that down there on the taskbar, then I can pin it to the start bar. Yes, it's not working because it's already been done. It's right there. And then every time I want to use my Signum account, I go and click on that, and then I go to classroom.google.com, or my email, or whatever it is, whatever app I want to use with Google. And so that's just a kind of a neat way of keeping everything separate. Google Chrome has this functionality whether you're using Mac OS or Windows, so that's a really useful way of juggling different accounts if you already have a personal Google account. You will not be able to access any Signum University classes with your personal account. It has to be your Signum University account. So this is the holding pen. It's the kind of the library where you see all the classes you have been signed up to. In order to get classes added to this, you must first have been sent an email with a link. There's a big blue button that says join this class, and you will get that email for every class you sign up to through Signum University, and then that blue join this class button adds the class to classroom.google.com. So if we have a look inside one of these classrooms, let's say the new C.S. Lewis and the Mythologies of Love and Sex group by Professor Dickinson, you get through to this page where you see, it's almost like a kind of Twitter or Facebook kind of thing, where you see all the information in one go. Here Professor Dickinson has posted about an orientation, the syllabus. Basically this is everything that's ever been added to the classroom, in chronological order. So the newest thing comes up here. If you want to see something a bit more organized, then you can click on the classwork tab. This is, I think, the most useful tab in the whole classroom. So if you remember only one thing from this orientation, it's look at the classroom tab. When you go through there, you see all the weekly assignments listed really, really clearly. So you can click on one, you can say, okay, for week 1, in order to keep up with these lectures, I need to have read these texts. And then you also get things like recommended additional reading here, and all these links. Some of these are external links, some of these are attached documents such as PDFs, links to websites, links to YouTube, all kinds of things. This will differ week on week, and also will differ depending on what class you're signed up to. If you keep scrolling down, you will get to something. In most classrooms you will get to a sort of resources section, and here you will have things like links to the Signum University library resources, links to the discussion board. So that's really useful because you need to post in the discussion board if you are a discussion auditor or a credit taking student. Also a link to the lectures, which is useful if you're doing a live course or an archived course. In other words, a course that's already been run. If you click on there, then you get through to the complete set of lectures or the ongoing set of archive of lectures if this is a live course. You've also got the link here to register for the GoToWebinar preceptor sessions or lectures if it's a live course. I will cover the GoToWebinar preceptor, all the kind of GoToWebinar stuff in a separate video, but that is the link to sign up. You've also got a link to the syllabus here, and this is very standard across different classrooms. So if I go back to classroom.google.com and go to a different classroom, for example, the Inklings and King Arthur, with Professor Higgins. Again, go to the classroom tab, and you will see that things are set out slightly differently, because things do differ between different classes and different preceptors. But again, you've got the all the weekly assignments and then the resources at the end. In this case, we've got a few useful websites as well. We've got the end of course questionnaire, but again, the kind of like links to the lectures and the discussion board and things like that. So this is really useful, and it's slightly hidden away right at the bottom of all this stuff in the classwork tab. Really important that you know about that. If I click on these 3 lines here at the top left of the screen, then you can see a few useful ways of swapping between different classes you're enrolled in, if you're taking multiple classes or if you have taken more than one class in the past. There's also this fantastic tab here. It's called To Do. If I click on that, it shows me all the reading assignments and all the writing assignments. The difference between these is that the reading assignment, as in what you need to read week on week, doesn't have a due date, but a writing assignment, for example submitting paper 1 or redraft of paper 1 or paper 2, will have a deadline, and that will come up in this to-do list, and you can filter it through different classes. For example, just science fiction part 2. Oh, it was already filtered there, but I could filter it through C.S. Lewis or whatever I want. In this case, these due dates are in a big scary red color because I never submitted them, but that's okay because I was never a proper student in the science fiction part 2 class. This is just to show you what it looks like from a student's perspective. But if you're looking at this before the deadline, then it would look differently. It won't be in the scary red color. But this is a way of seeing what's coming up, what papers you need to submit through the classroom, and also what are all the writing assignments. I'm going to get back to how you actually submit a writing assignment in just a bit. I just want to show you a few more things when you click on the 3 horizontal lines on the top left corner. There is a calendar you can click on, which I've never found particularly helpful, but I think it would be helpful if you're signed up to multiple classes at once, because it shows you where all the due dates are for different times week on week. The other thing to look at here is the settings area, because here you can set all your notifications. By default you will get a lot of emails. I actually find that very helpful, but if you don't like to get lots of emails, then you can turn some of these off and you won't get those emails. Although turn them off at your peril in case you miss a due date reminder or something like that. So let's go back to classroom.google.com, and I will show you an example. Again, I'll go back to Professor Higgins. If we go to classwork, sorry, Pushkin is actually in the way of my monitor, so I can't see what I'm doing. Thank you, Pushkin. So if we go to this section here, so the way Professor Higgins has divided this up is into 3 sections. Starting points and sources is section 1, and in this section you have the 3 weekly reading tasks. If you click on one of those, you see more information. You see the required reading for that week, also some suggested reading and links for that suggested reading. Also links to the PowerPoints that we used in the lectures, so that's really useful. The other thing that Professor Higgins has posted in this section are 3 required due date assignments. So a research question for paper 1, an outline for paper 1, and the actual paper 1 assignment itself. If you click on one of these, you see the instructions, you see more information, and then you can click View Assignment in order to submit your work. I should stress that, again, this is going to be different according to different classes and different preceptors. We all use this slightly differently. Some professors are happy with you emailing your work. You don't have to do things through the Google Classroom. Some preceptors do want you to submit your work through the classroom. And obviously this is only going to be useful for people who are taking courses for credit and actually have to submit their papers and so on. If you're an auditor, you don't need to worry about this. But what I will show you is how to submit your work through the classroom. In order to do that, I will jump back into Professor Dickinson's C.S. Lewis course, because here I am signed up as a student rather than as a teacher, so I can show you the student viewpoint. So if we click on one of these assignments, this is not a due date assignment, but I'm just using this as an example. Pretend this is not the week 2 reading assignment. Pretend this is an assignment to submit paper 1. It's exactly the same thing. If you click View Assignment, it will take me through to this page where there is a whole box called Your Work. You can add or create. So if you click on that, you can submit, you can upload, for example, a Word document that you have written. Here we go. I'm just uploading an example Word document, and then that will share that document with your professor once you've clicked on the Turn In button. Don't forget that. Turn that in. But if you want, you can also, if you've already written your document in Google Drive, in Google Docs, then here you can share that version. You can create a whole new document if you want. by saying create doc, and then that will take you through to a doc that you can start writing your paper. And then when you're finished writing that paper, you can click the turn in button up there on the right hand side of the screen, or over here back in the classroom itself. And then it's as simple as that. If you want to add a private comment saying how much you love your professor or offering a fabulous bribe, then you can do so. I should say bribes are not accepted at Signum University, but you can add a private comment if you want to. Perhaps, I enjoyed this paper, or if you're submitting late, you might want to put in a private comment saying, apologies for the late delivery, or whatever it is. That's just an option for you. That's how to submit your work. Let's go back. I think that's everything, actually. I hope that was clear. I'm going to go back to classroom.google.com. The only other thing I want to say about this is that the whole thing is also available as an app for your phone. So if you want to, you can download an app for either Android or an iPhone, and it's the Google Classroom app, and basically it works exactly the same way on your phone as it does on a desktop computer or a laptop. The advantage of having the app as well is that it will send you notifications on your phone, so if you want to sort of get a reminder that something is due, or it will pop up as a notification. It's also an easy way of checking what the weekly reading assignment is whilst you're on the go, and accessing all your files and things, all the extra PDFs and things like that that may be on the classroom. So I think that's everything. I hope that was clear. I hope you have, I don't know where Pushkin has gone. I hope you have a lovely term, and good luck and happy studies. Thank you very much for listening.